everyone. Welcome to the show today. Today, our victim is Keelan Day, collector, artist, voice actor. Welcome to the show. Hi, Keelan.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank
Keelan.
you.
I think we'd like to start off today by asking you how you got into collecting, like how old you were, what were the first things you collected?
It's kind of always been something I've done. Like my dad got me into collecting, I guess, sports cards at a young age. And so from there, it's just kind of snowballed. I never outgrew it. I guess I never grew up in that regard, but kind of I've always done that for years. And then I've always loved Star Wars and stuff, and so that has kind of drawn me into a whole nother world. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's something that I enjoy. I have my characters that I collect more than others,
Oh, which ones are they?
and just kind of I don't know. Ahsoka, because she's my favorite character, and then Kanan, Jarrus, from Rebels. Like I don't know. I fell in love with both of those characters for different reasons. Just the way that they are, and I just really like the way that they, yeah. So because of that, it's just different artwork and stuff um, that comes along with the aspect of collecting Star Wars is what really drew me to it. Just because I think it's cool to own a piece of art that nobody else has. So and through that, getting to know different artists and stuff over time, and
What
it's
was
kind
the
of fun.
first set you ever bought?
The first what? I'm sorry.
What was the first Star Wars set you ever bought?
I don't even remember. I'm trying to think. I think when I first got into it, I had found some sketch that I liked on eBay as I was just kind of getting into it, and it was an Ahsoka piece. I mean, that was kind of the first thing that I bought, and then from there, I've been fortunate enough that in the U.S., we have hobby stores and stuff, so they had boxes of Star Wars cards pretty cheap. Now they've gotten a little more expensive, and it's kind of frustrating, but that's just part of the aspect of collecting, I guess.
Yeah, the values go up and down, don't they?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I saw that. Bounty Hunters came out. Was it yesterday? And they've all sold out already, haven't they? I don't know if they do pre-sale, if they all go in pre-sale or what, but there seems to be none around for anyone to buy.
No, I know. And it's kind of crazy because like it feels like 2 years ago that box would be like $70, and now it's like 200.
Of
I
course,
don't know.
everybody worked on that set, over a year ago now, and it just got delayed, and delayed. And I think there's a couple more sets from them like that, I think. So I'm guessing it's just everybody went, I suppose.
It
Yeah, I know a lot of people pre-ordered it, so it's like they pre-ordered it like a year ago. So just now getting their stuff, it's like okay.
Is
Well,
there,
that's true. It's bound to be sold out, isn't it? Thinking about it, like if
Oh
it's
yeah,
been waiting that long, then everyone's going to pre-order, don't they?
yeah. Is
yep.
there anything else that you collect of sketch cards?
I here and there, like I'm a big fan of Rebels. Like it's my favorite show, so I pick up pieces when I can of that. But for the most part, like anything Ahsoka or Kanan, those are the two that I chase the most. I've kind of gotten picky. Not that I don't like want to just own anything, but like there's certain artists that I like. Like that's actually kind of how Lindsay and I got connected, was because I always liked her artwork, but could never snag one of her pieces. And then I finally, she had posted her stuff for, I think it was Masterworks, and there was an Ahsoka piece she had, and I was like, hey, I've always liked your work. I'd really like to get one of them, and we just kind of talked from there. And she was, gracious enough to allow me to kind of set up a payment plan with her on one, and we went from there and just kind of became friends, and it's kind of snowballed from there. But I really enjoy that aspect of the hobby too, is just getting to know people and becoming friends with someone that you may never actually get to meet in person. So it's kind of neat.
So would you suggest to other collectors to make the effort to contact artists directly?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, because I have a friend who's just now getting into it, and she feels so intimidated, you know, reaching out to people. And I would recommend just, you know, that I think that artists appreciate it when, especially when people appreciate their work. I know as one myself, like it's nice when somebody's like, hey, I really like this that you know this piece that you did, and it makes you kind of feel good about because you know we're people too. But and so you know everyone is, and so it's just one of those things. Like I would always take the effort to reach out to them because you never know. Like you could you know make a friend and beyond that, you know, just somebody that like you want to just chat with, and if they have stuff that you like, then you know you can kind of not that you're like using it for your gain of like getting an in terms of you know if they're a popular artist, whatever the case may be, but it's nice to just have those people to chat with.
It absolutely means the world when somebody's prepared to part with money that they've worked hard for to pass it along to you. It's amazing.
It's humbling.
Oh, it makes you a bit teary sometimes. Because you know people work hard for their money.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I have a song coming up in my mind right now. But anyway, what platform? What platform do you usually reach out to artists on?
I've kind of found, I mean, because most of them are on Facebook, it seems like. So I'm in, you know, several groups for Star Wars cards specifically. Um, and so you know, I've been able to connect with them there and just kind of see them, you know, either people sharing their posts or whatever the case may be if they're not in the group, and then just reaching out to their page or whatever. But yeah, I feel like Messenger is kind of social media, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword, but there are good sides to it for sure, and being able to connect with people, you know, and just have that platform. But that's yeah, most of the time that or Instagram, but mostly Facebook, I would say, is probably the choice.
It's pretty much the easiest, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so very easy. What else are you a fan of? Like
Um,
like books?
shows and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh
shows,
yeah.
anything. What else are you a fan of that feeds into your love of art and things?
Um, I've always I've always kind of been into like anime and stuff. I haven't gotten like super hardcore into it. Like my brothers are much more in depth with that, but there are things that I enjoy, and I've always enjoyed the art aspect of that. And yeah, I like reading, but most of the stuff that I read is nonfiction, that kind of thing. But I do read some fantasy stuff here and there. I dabble in comics, but I'm not like, you know, I prefer like the movies and stuff that come out of the TV shows from that. I watch a lot of, you know, shows here and there, like uh, I mentioned, you know, like Rebels and like Clone Wars and that kind of thing. But then I
Did
don't
you
know,
watch
like
The
shows
Bad
like,
Batch?
oh yeah, that I like the Bad Batch, and I'm excited for season 2 of that too. It'll be interesting to see kind of where they go from there. I really like Omega. I'm interested to see her character development as she gets older too. So
Have you seen Arcane yet? You mentioned you liked anime.
the what?
Have you seen Arcane yet? Arcane. You not seen it yet?
Neither have I. Is it good?
Mm. It's the best thing I've seen recently.
Really?
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, give it a go. It's on
I
Netflix.
mean,
If you got Netflix.
okay, yeah, for sure. I'll
Watch
check it
that
out.
yet? Oops,
I've got
Arcane.
Netflix. It's one of the platforms that I have. So
So when you were little, did you draw when you were little? You
I
was a
did.
small Keelan.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always kind of drawn. It's been something that I've always enjoyed, and as I've gotten older, like yeah, when I was a kid, I used to. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. You know, we had art class and stuff, and that was always like my favorite thing to do was go there and kind of get away from everything and just kind of, you know, spend that hour like doodling or whatever the case may be, whether my teacher enjoyed what I drew or not. So, but
I
So,
always look forward to the art lesson at school.
so you are kind of playing with your own version of sketch cards, aren't you?
mhm, trying to get into it. It's fun. It's kind of interesting to see. It makes you appreciate the art that other people do too. But it's yeah, I'm really starting to try to get into that and kind of explore that world, and I've really enjoyed it so far. Although I haven't done anything in like a week, and I feel it's not fun not being able to do that. So I'm gonna try to knock some of those out today or tomorrow.
How are you feeling about drawing on a smaller scale? Are you getting used to it?
Yes and no. I it's one of like I mean I'm fine. Like it's different because as you try to draw like something on a an average size piece of paper, it's like much smaller, much more detailed, and there's different ways to kind of like I've learned that you can kind of embellish that a little bit to make it look a little more detailed than it is. But it's for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It's a new challenge, a new opportunity to kind of put that out there and just kind of test yourself to try to really push yourself to try to put out the best work you can. So
As long as your next card's better than your last one, you're going the right way, aren't you?
yeah, that's kind of what I've learned. It's like my first one, I did okay with. It wasn't bad, and I looked at it, but like I've done a few since then, and now I'm like the last one I did was that Grogu piece, and like you've seen it, but I felt pretty good about it. But it's nice to like see progress and like know that like okay, this is coming along. Like I'm starting to figure out the shading more with the markers and the colored pencil together and everything else. So
You'll find your groove eventually, and you'll know once you know what you're doing, it's a hell of a lot faster, isn't it? Because
oh yeah,
at first you just second guess yourself constantly all the time. I remember getting my first Star Wars set, and I didn't touch the card for about an hour. I just sat staring at it because you're like, I don't want to make a mistake.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now they arrive, and I'm just like,
No, I totally get it. I can imagine like when you've got that because it's like official at that point. It's like you have to be able to put out that work, and it's something that I want to do. But I'm sure like if and when it comes to that, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm stressing out like crazy.
I remember the very first box of cards I got in 2007 or 8 or something. The very first official set, the box comes and you're like, oh my God. First of all, I think there were 200 cards in that box or something like that. And then the deadline was 3 weeks away. And it was like, oh my God, I'm on this set. I can't wait. And it took about 10 minutes. It was like, how am I going to do this? Like, oh my God. But yeah, you learn to deal and you get along with it. And yeah, it's a great learning experience. From the point of view of a collector, how many cards do you have in your collection?
I've kind of it's weird because like I mean for the most part like the things that I have that I don't want to get rid of. I mean I've got I don't know several probably like 40 or 50 pieces of different things that I've collected that I really it would take a lot for me to be like okay I have to move this kind of thing. I mean at the end of the day like yeah, I've moved some stuff that I, kind of regret as a collector moving, but it's just one of those things. It's like, most
Yeah,
of the time if I'm moving, it's for the opportunity to pick up something else that I really want. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like
it's a fluid collection,
mhm,
and that's
yeah.
okay too. You keep
yeah,
exploring what you like, what you're looking for, and your tastes change over time anyway. So that's completely okay.
absolutely.
That pretty
And
much-
like I said, I've kind of gotten picky with the stuff that I'm after. Like more so, different artists that I respect. Not that I don't respect all the artists. That's not what I mean. But those that I've really, come to like, I really enjoy their art a lot. And so it's one of those things like it's nice to have that, luxury of being able to kind of pick and choose what you want. And add them to
Store
your
them. Do you store them in booklets? Do you display them?
So again, here in the U.S., like it's kind of nice because we have shops and stuff. So I actually used to work at a sports card store, but they have like magnet cases, and so like I try to make sure that they're stored in those because I feel like they're a little more durable, and with sketch cards, you're not as worried about like not that you're going to damage them, but like they're a little more rigid and you feel a little bit safer with them. And so that's kind of what I do. And I have a box that I just keep them in, and I pull them out and look at them from time to time. So it's just nice to like admire the different aspects of like what they're trying to do with their art, like whether it's a pen stroke or a paintbrush or some of the stuff. I'm amazed at how much detail people can put into the card.
And you can see so much more, can't you, in person than on a screen on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Like pretty much everyone who receives one of my cards says so much better in person. I'm just terrible at taking photographs or what, but yeah.
No, I think
they're happy when it gets there. They're even more happy than they were.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not easy when you're taking pictures of your work, not only for your own computer monitor, but you don't know what the monitor looks like on someone else's end. So you have like no control over that. So
and it's also a tiny little image, a lot bigger. So you know,
yeah,
it's definitely distorted.
Yeah.
So
it shows.
Have you collected from different companies, or have you mostly stuck with the Star Wars and stuff?
I've kind of, like over the years, with baseball cards or basketball or whatever, there's different companies that used to produce things. Now it's kind of one parent company, but yeah, Topps I know has Star Wars rights and stuff, and so like I've that's kind of the main thing that I stick to now. But I do occasionally buy like personal sketch cards from different artists, because which I know they're not technically licensed by Topps, but I still like appreciate adding them to my collection. And it's one of those things. It's like, again, I feel like as an artist, if somebody's like, hey, I want this piece from you, and it's not like something that has to be in a set like that makes you feel even better, because it means that somebody like appreciates your work enough to like not wait for the opportunity to buy something that's like licensed per se. So
that's a really good point. I mean, when I first started doing sketch cards, I think people used to struggle quite a bit to sell PSCs and things like that. Personal sketch cards, they all wanted like official top stock and all that, but it seems in recent years people are getting into PSCs a lot more, aren't they? I mean, there's more choice of what you can ask for on them and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
So
talking with some collectors, it's incredible. Well, as you and I, Lindsay, have done with people like Keelan and all that. There are some people who have really built an amazing collection just with PSCs and things that otherwise they would not be able to get.
mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
it's amazing that people like you, Keelan, are help keeping us going and things like that. What do you see yourself collecting in the future? Do you see yourself continuing to collect sketch cards?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's I appreciate the kind of trying to think of the word.
Well, unique.
Anyway.
Original.
Yeah. Unique. Just as far as like each individual card, because like no one card is the same. And I think that's super cool to be able to like chase what it is that you're looking for, and if it's something that you appreciate, then like I said, I always try to reach out to the artist if it's something that I pick up and I haven't talked with them before, and just be like, hey, like, just want you to know I really appreciate your work. I have this piece, and like it made me happy to be able to pick it up. So
you can be sure that there are people that appreciate it when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you spoke about being a voice actor as well. How did that come into being?
It's something that I would love to do. Like, if I could do anything for a living, I think that would probably be it. Just because it's something that I've always enjoyed doing, just as like messing around with. But I, again, the luxury of the goods and bads of social media, like through TikTok, there's different people that are voice actors that'll put out like voice challenges and stuff, and so you get the opportunity to kind of put up like a script and you can read it, and it's something that I enjoy doing in my free time as well. So like if I have the opportunity to kind of put one out there and I enjoy doing it, then I might share it with people just to see what they have to say. So
Are you up for doing a voice challenge for me? Feeling brave right
yeah, right now.
now? If this character, could you come up with a voice for
Oh Lord.
that character?
Oh, oh man.
He's a country bumpkin, obviously.
What?
He's a bit of a country bumpkin, isn't he?
Yeah, just look regular. Oh yeah, looks like a very very nice gentleman.
Would you give them unsuspected voices? Give him like a really voice. I like that.
How did you get into doing that? You just fell into it like that?
Yeah, I mean it's like I've always, probably to a fault. My friends might think that I just do stuff too. I'm kind of goofy by nature, so like I'll just make up voices for like something that I see, or like a character, just with my friends. Like if we see somebody that like off in the distance, you're like, yeah, that's an interesting person. Like I wonder what I don't know, just dumb stuff like that. And so it's just kind of something that I've always enjoyed trying to imitate or do something. So
they would be hilarious videos, to be fair, wouldn't they? If you were doing the from a distance and doing the voices. I think they'd go down.
Conversations for people. Yeah, it would either be hilarious or I would think it's funny. And I guess that there's at least somebody that would appreciate it.
I would be a fan. I would be there. I'd have my top fan badge on Facebook.
Just like you were showing, Lindsay, how cool would that be? You have a bunch of sketch cards and you just animate the voices of the sketch cards, and that could be pretty cool.
I've actually asked Keelan to do the voiceover for my Kickstarter video for when I launch the Die Rabbit Die set.
Can't wait to hear that.
Yeah,
it'll be
awesome.
I heard it was a bit of an evil voice, and it had the boom to it, and I was like, yes, Keelan can do this.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to doing that. Any opportunity I have to kind of get my foot in the door with that, like it'd be nice to just have that to be like, hey, look, I've done this. So
yes, first job in your portfolio, just first of many more, hopefully.
Can we preview? Are we allowed to hear what it's going to sound like, or do we have to wait?
We're going to have to wait because we haven't got a script yet, have we? I need to sort the script out. And which way, do you know? I don't know which way around's better to do it. You'd probably make the video first, wouldn't you? And then do the voiceover. That would make more sense.
That'd probably be the way to go, I would say, just as far as like knowing what I'm trying to go for. So
and everything, and yeah. So we'll get to that when I've sorted the video Kickstarter.
Ooh, shaped cards with voices. Ooh, all those shaped cards we've had to draw and paint over the years. Ooh, I would love that. Oh my God, you guys are going to be onto something.
Well, if my video does well, like there's nothing to stop people. Obviously, I'll promote Keelan and say, if you like the dude's voice, here's Keelan. Go and talk to him.
Yeah, I'll have to come and ask you about mine as well.
See, two already. I think there's a lot of people. I mean, like I wouldn't put my voice on a video. My voice would be ridiculous. So, and it would just be really off-putting on a video, I think. So I think there's a lot of people who feel like that about their own voice.
Yes.
So yes. Like a lot of artists wanting, if they want to make a video, wanting someone to do do the talking for.
I mean, that's fair. I will say it is weird to like hear yourself for the first time in any context on a recording, because like I also might be adding myself here. I also enjoy singing quite a bit. And so like when you hear yourself sing for the first time, like, oh my gosh, sorry, my headphone won't stay in. When you hear yourself sing for the first time on recording, you're like, was that me? Like, that sounds terrible. And other people are like, that's great. And you're like, okay.
I bet it's great. I bet it's great. Oh, that's amazing. Could even make a little I could get a music track and even make a little intro song. All the possibilities. So much fun you can have.
So you're actually you're a very creative person, actually. Keelan.
Yeah, I guess I would say like that's kind of definitely my yeah.
It's your default setting. We could say that it's your default setting. You're a very creative person. Are you stronger with the creativity than the business side of your life, or?
Yeah, for sure. I have so many different ideas for different things.
So you're one of these who have a lot of ideas in your head as well. How do you keep track of all that stuff?
Sometimes I don't, but I try to. I've been working on that aspect of my life, because it's whether it's like through note taking or just recording or something. Like if I have an idea for something and I think that it could be something worth doing, just as far as like, because I used to try to just be like, oh, I'll take a mental note of it and then forget about it for 3 months. And at that point, you're like, well, I don't know if I have the same motivation to pursue with this. So
yeah,
I'm kind of a yeah.
Please go on.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm in that regard, I'm definitely a dreamer. I'm one of those people that just enjoys, having ideas, and I'm like, oh, this would be cool, and then like, I don't always follow through with things, and that's an aspect of my life I'm trying to really buckle down and do. So
it's a lot easier. I think the best way to go about it would be maybe pick two to really put a lot of effort into, because me and Ingrid at the same, you just have ideas coming from here, there and everywhere, but you haven't got time to do all of them. So you pick a couple and just really concentrate them and see what happens. I think that's your best bet.
Says the co-host who has a million ideas all the time and is trying to do them all.
I will do them all. Well, now I've got a kids book up there that I've written that it only needs some artwork, and that's never going to happen. This has got too much to do.
Oh, I feel that. I just need to do this. Like, I've got other things I need to work on, and then it sits there for 2 or 3 years, and you're like,
well,
there it is.
Yeah, it'll often take a different direction as well. Like I was doing some pieces because I was planning on submitting them to Tops for base card art, and then I've just got other things going on. I'm doing different stuff, so that's kind of fallen by the wayside now, if you know what I mean. So you can start. You never know where you're going to go. So new ideas are always good, I guess.
New ideas are always good, but when you keep starting and then you like, I'm super guilty of that, starting the ideas and it's like, oh yes, I like this, I really like this, and then you see flies go by and oh yeah, and then you go off and you're doing something else and you forget it, and then as you said, you lose the motivation for the idea in the first place. So yeah, it is a bit of practice to kind of take some of those ideas and go, which one would I really like to try? And in the beginning, I find it's hard to pick one and stick with it. It's like that is really an educational experience, just learning how to pick one and stick with it and finish it. I have an embroidery on the wall. It took me 2 years to do it. It's a whole bunch of Native American dress that's done in embroidery. And I did that when my youngest was a baby and when I was pregnant with her. And even though that's, of course, not, that was just a pastime, you know, there's only so many things you can do when you're pregnant and, you know, when you're going to have babies and stuff. But I made a point out of finishing that thing, no matter what I thought of it or how horrible it got. I made a point of finishing it. And then I put it on the wall so that every time I start something and I don't know if I'm going to finish it or all, I look at that and it's like, damn it, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it.
Done it before, I can do it again.
I think that's good advice because I'm really bad about that. Like the amount of books that I've started reading that I get about halfway through and I'm like, I'm going to come back to this, and then I never do, and I forget everything that I ever read in it. It's the same kind of thing with, you know, with artwork. I'm a little more tedious about. I do at least, like, I'll come back to it, and once I get going on it, I'm like, okay, I have this desire to do this again. But with other things, I'm really bad about, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I start, and then I'm like, well, I could do this, or I could, you know, do this, or take a nap, or whatever.
Naps always win.
We all know the feeling. But that's why sketch cards are nice, because, you know, they don't take you weeks or years.
Yeah.
You can just keep going.
I never understood the people that have the patience to do oil paintings. I have never done them because it would drive me crazy to be working on the same piece for, you know, a year, because it takes forever to dry. Like, I can't do this.
Work that's taken me longest out of everything I've ever done. And this, same as Ingrid, I did this when little and were little, and you know, you got time on your hands while they're napping and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I remember you showing that. That is so incredible. Look at that. Look at that. It is incredible.
Ever. But I finished it. Hey.
That is amazing. For people who are listening at home, you must go see the video of this episode and look at Lindsay's amazing cat piece. It's
But
and
again,
a lot of details that you put in that. It's incredible.
That was my plan at the time. I was going to be a feline artist and do that style of cat art, but what I'm doing now is so much different. So you just never know what doors are going to open and where you're going to go, and you know.
Very true. Very true.
That's a whole art in itself. If you actually start down a road, like you really like the voice acting, I'm assuming that when you do projects with that, you finish those projects, correct?
I mean, what I have done, yeah. I've only done, like, years ago. I had a friend that, like, she worked for a firework display company, and they did, like, this huge, you know, this, like, display on the 4th of July, which I guess doesn't really matter to anyone outside of the U.S., but to us, it's a big deal. So, and she was like, hey, like, we have a voiceover thing, and I know that you've done this, like, voice before, so would you be willing to do that? I was like, yeah, sure. So I recorded it, and, like, I mean, it took, you know, no time at all, but, like, I haven't done anything like on a grandiose scale with it yet. But, like, if I ever got to do, like, the dream would be, like, doing, you know, like a TV show or something, or, like, voicing a character, you know, for example, for Star Wars or something like that would be really cool to do animated voice work and stuff.
You could create your own characters, your own Star Wars characters, and then voice act them into their own little story or something as a test thing, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
Or you could voice over Lindsay's all of Lindsay's cats. That would be awesome.
Well, we're going to do the Die Rabbit Die, aren't we? I'm looking forward to working with you on that. I think it'll be really
That's
good.
going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I'm excited to do that for sure.
We need it to be funny because the cards are supposed to be funny as well. So it's, I think it'll go good.
Oh,
It'll look pretty hilarious. So
I can't wait for that. That's going to be pretty awesome. Is there anything you'd like to tell trading card companies about the experience of collecting?
I don't know. I mean, just, you know, I think just people just appreciate, you know, different things, and obviously, like, they have social media, so they can kind of see what people say about certain products or different things. But, you know, just, I would just say, just keep putting out, you know, stuff and allowing artists to continue to kind of put their footprint out there and be able to do things, like just continue to give artists opportunities to put stuff out there, because especially not just with Star Wars, like, but with other products as well, like anything that has to do with Marvel or anything like that, like that's the thing that draws, I think, most people to it, is the art aspect of it, because they've already appreciated the art for what it is.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we haven't asked you that you wish we would have asked you? Or do you think we've covered everything?
Off the top of my head, I really don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything like in particular that I can think of off the top of my head, and I don't want to just sit here and like leave dead air to people that are listening. Like, is this guy ever going to say anything? So
That's fine. That's fine. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything you wanted to say, and we were just going blah 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 all over.
Yeah, that's always fun. This conversation is the best part. So
This is we really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us like this. It feels like you're kind of a, relatively speaking, a newer collector, so it's interesting to hear your side of what it is you like to collect and things like that. So we really appreciate you taking the time to share your passion with us, and I honestly can't wait to hear your voice production.
I'm sure it'll happen sooner rather than later. So
is there anywhere where do you want people to find you, or is there anywhere, like, for instance, for samples of your voice work, should anyone want to hire you for something?
I haven't really set anything up of that yet. I have an art page on Facebook, but I don't have like.
Okay. Where can people find you on Facebook? Yeah,
it's Keelan Day Artwork. Not really original, but that's kind of where.
Keelan Day Artwork. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I try to post my stuff there anytime I knock out a new piece or something like that, and kind of share it from there. But
cool. Very cool. Thank you so much for having talked to us today, Keelan. It's been great to meet you.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful time. I appreciate you guys having me on, allowing me to get on here and.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome.
To come back and when you've and let us know about the progress and everything of your art and your voice acting. That'd be awesome.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Keelan.
Thank you.
Bye.